would like to take a second to thank Dr. John Laporta and all the wonderful staff at TVCC for giving me this chance to speak in behalf of all the 7,000 clients that Thames Valley Children's Center has. It's truly an honor. Thank you. As you heard, my name is Kevin Strabosch. I was born on September 23rd, 1992, with hemiplegia, or cerebral palsy, CP for short, on the left side of my body. I go to St. Thomas Aquinas, or STA, which I also understand is the high school Mr. Beller attended, here in London. I was diagnosed at the age of 6 months at the Thames Valley Children's Center. I started physiotherapy right away and continued receiving physical therapy, PT, on my legs, and occupational therapy, OT, on my arm and hand in elementary school up until about grade 5. I really liked the therapy because they would take me out of class to stretch me and practice simple tasks with my left hand. I also had many casts made for me over the years in the casting department. These casts were made in order to stretch my tendons and muscles. I always remember having the L-shaped piece of metal put on my leg to form the cast. I really hated it because it was always so cold. I now attend a class called Abilities Connections. It puts me in touch with other disabled teens and allows me to get my chance to tell my story at events like this. The biggest aspect of my life right now is sports. 5 years ago, I met a man named Dave Gregg. Dave is now a coach with Team Canada Paralympic Track and Field. Dave asked me if I'd like to get involved in Paralympic track and field. To be honest, I didn't know much about the Paralympics until about 5 years ago, so I decided to do some research. I found out that the Paralympics began in 1948 when a man named Sir Ludwig Gutmann organized sport competition for World War II soldiers' spinal cord injuries. Many people don't realize that the word Paralympics actually comes from the Greek word para, meaning with. So whenever there's an Olympics, it's followed shortly thereafter by a Paralympics. Within a week of meeting Dave, I was at my first track meet. Boy, I remember that track meet so well. I was so nervous. I competed in 4 events that day. Javelin, which I'd never thrown before, so I don't know why I picked a meet to try it at. Shot put, 400 meter, and long jump. I made it to the provincials in 3 of those events. Shot put, 400 meter, and long jump. Over the next 4 years, I continued to compete in running, jumping, and throwing competitions. But since then, my preferences have changed to strictly throwing events, shot put, discus, and javelin. I don't know how it changed so dramatically, but it has. I continued to improve every year. 2 years ago, I started training with Olympian Jason Tunks. For those of you who do not know who Jason is, he's a 17-time Canadian champion and a 3-time Olympian in discus. He's kind of like the Boya Salming of the Canadian discus world. You know, the king. That clap was for Boya. In 2009, I managed to throw personal best in all 3 of my events, made it to the nationals for the first time, and became national champion in shot put and discus. Last year, I made it to the nationals in all 3 of my events this time, retained my championship in shot put and discus, and also threw gold in javelin. I don't know what I'm going to do this year. I also train with London Western Track and Field Club. Up until about a month ago, I played on Team Canada sit-down volleyball team. I think I said team 1 too many times. It was fun. I traveled quite a lot with the team within Canada and the US. Not as extensively as Mr. Durden, but hopefully that will come in the future. If you've never seen the game of sit-down volleyball, have a look at the game on YouTube. The players sit right on the gym floor, the net is lowered, but other than those 2 things, it's pretty much the regular game of volleyball, except with some different rules. Being involved with both sports has allowed me to meet many other disabled people. They inspire and amaze me. When you put your mind to it, you can achieve greatness. Just look at Miss Carrier here, who ran 100 kilometers in 1 day, or Mr. Bauer, who won 4 Stanley Cups as a Maple Leaf, or even Mr. Gasson, who won 2 World Series. Truly inspiring. When I think of greatness, the 2 people I think of are Rick Hansen and Terry Fox. We all know who Rick is and what he did for disabled people all around the world. One night, I was watching the Rick Mercer Report, and there was Rick, bungee jumping off a bridge in British Columbia in his wheelchair, even though people said that he couldn't. He joked with Rick Mercer after that he couldn't feel his legs when he jumped. He is one amazing Canadian. Terry Fox is also inspirational, not only for what he did for cancer research, but showing the world what a person with a disability can do. Running a marathon for 265 days is definitely no easy task. I know I couldn't do it, especially for a man with one leg. He is also an amazing Canadian. They are both heroes in my mind. Living with a disability is sometimes a struggle. Mostly what I struggle with are the small things: cutting meat, tying shoelaces, putting on gloves. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you'd like to get an idea of what I go through, try doing everything with one hand for an hour. Sometimes people even stare at the way I walk, but I can't let that get me down. We all have our own struggles in our lives. Some are just more visible. We can't let the struggles or the obstacles blocking our path slow us down. In conclusion, my disability has offered me some excellent new opportunities for adventure and travel. The staff at TVCC has always been there for me. They are the best at what they do, and we should be proud to have them in our city. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for your continued support and donations to TVCC. It really does help. I will hopefully continue down my passport of excellence and hope to one day represent our country at a Paralympic Games. I hope I've inspired and entertained you all a little bit today. Thank you. Thank you.